took piano lessons as a kid and I hated it. It just wasn't fun for me and I never practiced. My parents couldn't even bribe me to practice. My teacher at a certain point was just honest with my mom and just said, hey, he's not really into it. Like, let's not waste your time and my time. So I was ecstatic. My piano career, I thought, was over at age 12. It was only like a few months later that I heard this piece of music called Rhapsody in Blue, this classical piece by George Gershwin. And it was like no other classical piece that I'd ever heard before. I recognized that there was some classical influence, but it had this other sound, this like really exciting, lively, it sounded like a party. And then I found out that that sound was called jazz. So I decided that maybe I would go back to piano. Then I went to the library and I found that there were all these other pieces that sounded kind of like it, that all had that jazzy sound to it. And I started taking out these cassette tapes. You know, this is the 90s, so it's cassette tapes. I'm not like a hipster or anything. I would bring it home, I'd put it in my Sony Walkman. I'd have the headphones on, sit at the piano and just try to like brute force my way through trying to figure out what all these amazing jazz musicians were doing. I would race home from school every day. I was maybe about 7th or 8th grade, so I had like, you know, picture me with braces and like a bowl haircut and everything. At first I was terrible, of course. And before long, I was making real progress and I realized that I was sounding kind of good at this. I went into high school and I was just kind of like a music kid, you know, I just devoured everything about jazz, but I was also starting to get into non-jazz music as well. I realized that you could combine genres in a way, just like Rhapsody in Blue combined classical music with jazz. I could take pop songs and combine them with jazz, and that was a real eye-opening moment for me.